program today. All right, so I will just, I'm not a consultant, so I don't have the capacity to speak for very long. However, I have a bit of experiences to share as well that I feel that will also benefit us. So my own assignment this morning is to talk to financial literacy and also how we can finance our business. Of course, Pastor has done a very good job introducing us to the fact that business is what makes us wealthy, and also how we can actually give birth to a business. So the next question is, how do you finance it? That's the thing that I hear most of the time holding people back from actually going into business. They are always thinking about, so how do I finance the business? The next thing is, how do I ensure that the business survives, which this next topic is going to help you with. Yes, please move on. All right, so I'll just do a bit of introduction. I'll ask a question of who you are. Just talk about some wealth philosophies. Give us some basics on financial literacy, because if we want to talk about financial literacy, we can take 3 days talking about it. So we'll just take some basics, some business principle basics, and just highlight some ways to finance our business. Then I'll also share a couple of resources that we can further go to look at to help us. Yes. Okay, so for the introduction part, we all know that life is guided by principles. That we must put it at the back of our mind, even when it has to do with business and finance. And just as life is guided by principle, finance is also guided by principles. There are principles that guide finance. We need to take note of that. And while there are all manner of principles, there are also godly principles for finance. So we need to take note of that as well. And just like everyone else, if we are going to be able to succeed in our finance, we also need to learn the principles that is going to help us to succeed. God is interested in your finance as much as he's interested in every other part of your life. That's the reason why the book of Deuteronomy 8:18 says that it is God that gives us the power to make wealth. If he's not interested in our wealth, in our finance, he won't empower us to be able to do it. So going into every other aspect of our life, we need to come to a realization of who we are. It's the same thing with our finance. Who are you when it comes to money? Who are you? So, first of all, we need to know that we are created by God in his image and after his likeness. And what this does to us is to make us know that we carry his nature. So it is whatever it is that God is, that is what we are. The next thing is that he has made us rulers. So even in our finance, we are supposed to rule. He has empowered us to be fruitful and to multiply. So your money must be fruitful. Your money must multiply. And the last part there is that he has given us control and dominion over the head. So while we are here, the money making, the wealth is not for the unbelievers, it is for us. So the other part is that you are a child of God. You are a child of God. You are his heir. You share in his glory. If the glory of Jesus did not reduce even after he has died 2,000 years ago, it's even only increasing the more. You also carry the same amount of glory. You are empowered to live as God, and you are given authority to do all that Christ can do. This comes from being a child of God. So you must see yourself as this, even in your finance. You must see yourself as this. The last one is that you must also know that you are human as well. And what this will tell you is that you can make mistakes. Because you are human, you can make mistakes. Even in your finance, you can make mistakes because you are human. You need to know this, because the problem that does, not realizing that, the problem it does is that once we make mistake, then it breaks us down, then it finishes us totally. It is okay, because we are human, to make mistakes. We can be limited in ideas. Our humans are limited in ideas, knowledge, resources, connections, strength. We don't have it all. And that is the reason why we need God, who is not limited in any of these things. So, with respect to your finance, who are you? Which one of these are you? And depending on your financial status, how do you move from one of these to the other one? For example, you can see someone who is always wary to spend money. Anything that has to do with incurring expenses, the person doesn't like it at all. You can see. So somebody like that, how can the person multiply finance? How can the person increase in finance? So you can see someone who is an entrepreneur. Every time money comes into the hand of the person is, how am I going to multiply this money? How am I going to increase it? And some people are big spenders. Anytime money comes into their hand, the next thing is how to blow it, all the expenses. In fact, some people make New Year resolution of what to spend money on the entire year. If you look at their New Year resolution, all is about is how to spend money. So the next thing is, throughout the year, how do I get this money to meet all these needs that I have already set for myself? Then there are the smart ones. Now, this is not a fixed personality when it comes to money. Some people, once money comes into their hand big, they quickly switch to the big spender from possibly maybe the weary one. They become weary when the money in their hand is so small, it cannot meet their needs. But the moment big money comes, they become. So you need to think about it. And along these Bible verses, if you look at them, each of these Bible verses speak to these money personalities, and there are lessons to be learned there. The next one. So let's go on. So these are the word philosophies that I want to share with us this morning. The first one is to start with the end in mind. Start with the end in mind. So which means that you have to get a clarity as to who you are and what you are here to do in life. What are you here to do in life? Where do you see yourself in life? Start with that end in mind. If that end is in mind, it will continue to keep you focused, and it will continue to direct you to the things that you need to do to get there. There is a common saying that anybody that doesn't have a destination everywhere looks like a destination. Wealth is about your life's purpose, and that is what we're talking about, the end. So what is your life purpose? Wealth is actually about your life's purpose. Wealth is not about amassing money. Wealth is about your life purpose. What is your life purpose? What do you intend to leave as legacy when you have gone? What do you want to be remembered for? So how much of it you are able to achieve is how worthy you are. Wealth is a lifelong journey. So it doesn't start a particular day and it doesn't end a particular day. It is as we are on earth, we continue to embark on that journey. And Pastor talked about risk, that nobody can actually become wealthy without taking risk. But risk is relative. What is risk to one is not risk to another. So it all depends on you. And the last one is that you and your family, I added family so that, because a family is an extension of you. You can't actually talk about yourself completely without talking about your family. So you and your family are unique. Don't compare yourself to any other person. We are on different life journey. We are pursuing different life purposes. The next one. So let me just say a bit about some of the terms that we will have to deal with when it comes to finances. The first one, just talking about financial literacy. It's getting educated about finances. Basically, that is what financial literacy is. Getting educated, getting the required financial skills, generally about finances. Why is it important? Because it helps you to be able to make informed, correct financial decisions. The next thing is money management. Money management is knowing how to get money and how to spend it, save it, invest it. That's money management. The next one is setting financial goals. So there are financial goals, just as we have other kind of goals in life. If your weight is like 150 kg, for example, you can set an health goal for yourself. This year, I'm going to bring it down by 20 kg. It's an health goal. It's the same thing that has to do with finance as well. So, and the financial goal can be a short-term one, it can be a long-term one, it can be a medium-term one. In fact, you must have a long-term that you are broken down into medium-term and a shorter term. Because, like I said, it is a journey. So, you know where you want to get to, then you start building little by little to get there. The next one is budgeting. Budgeting is creating a plan on how you make money and how you spend it. It is clear from day one. That is budgeting. And it helps us to guide our lives and not allow us to fall into traps when we budget. One of the commonest things that we've seen in Nigeria now is this entitlement kind of a thing, that people feel that they are entitled to what you have worked for from 7 o'clock in the morning till 7 in the night. Why sitting down or lounging at home? You are supposed to actually go and do that 12-hour work and bring the money to them. It's an entitlement spirit. Budgeting can help you a lot against it. Because people are going to blackmail you. They are going to use emotional blackmail and all other things. But if you are going to help people, you have budgeted, this is what I am using to help people for this month. Once it has finished, it has finished. The next person on the queue will wait till the next month when the allocation of the budget will permit again. So these are some of the things that budgeting helps us to be able to do. Then income and expenses. We need to know the difference between income. We need to know the difference between expense. We need to know the different types. How does money enter your hand? How does the money go? Income and expenses. Needs and wants. Very, very important. Needs and wants. We must be able to differentiate between them. The most basic needs of life is clothing to cover our nakedness, shelter to be able to have somewhere safe to sleep, and food to eat, right? They are basic needs, the most basic of the needs, but they can also turn to wants, even those basic needs. So which means that if those basic needs can turn to wants, there is no other thing that cannot actually become a want. So we need to be careful. If you are earning a salary of 200,000 or your business is making a profit of 200,000, but you want to be wearing clothes that the whole money you are going to make for the entire month, you use it to buy one cloth. That cloth is no longer a need. That cloth has become a want. So we need to be careful about that. Your net worth. Your net worth is actually the difference between what you own and what you owe. What you own. People put a lot of focus on what they own, forgetting that they owe. So you must balance it up. It's the difference between the two that shows you your net worth. Cash flow. Cash flow talks about how money comes and how money goes out. Emergency fund is saving at least 3 to 6 months of your expenses for unexpected situations. So we must also, in whatever it is that we do, create some kind of emergency funds. The Bible talked about it, how hands gather when the season is favorable for the times that will not be favorable. So let me just quickly jump to these business principles. So this is from Adnan Sani. It says that first thing, people don't buy products, they buy solutions. If your offer doesn't solve a problem, it won't sell, no matter how nice your logo looks. Pastor has already talked about it. The only way a business is going to survive is if the business continues to meet needs, if it continues to be a solution. In as much as it's no longer a solution, it doesn't matter how you package it, how you brand it, it will not sell. And when we're talking about financial literacy, we need to know these things about finance and about business. Money flows in the direction of value. If value is not available, money will not flow there. So, and we're talking about how to finance our business. Most of these principles are ways that you are going to continue to internally, from the business itself, finance that business. So we need to take note of them. Your customer doesn't care how much effort you put in. They care about what they get out of it. They don't want to know how long you have been working on it, how hard you have worked on it. In as much as nothing is coming out of it for them, they are not getting anything, they will not buy it. They will not buy it. They will not take it. Those who have never heard of you and your business are more than those who have. Never stop talking about your business. That's one thing I love about Pastor. He's always talking about the fact that he's a consultant. Every opportunity we engage, if something must shall come up, he will shall say, find a way to say it. So what that does is that it makes people to remember you. So when the opportunity comes up, you will always be at the forefront of those they will call upon. Your business grows at the speed of your follow-up. Most sales don't happen on the first message. Follow up like your business depends on it. The next one is your marketing tool is trust. Trust builds clients. It builds referral. It builds long-term. If people don't trust you, they will not do business with you. And it may take time for people to actually trust you. So which means that building trust is not a day's job. It's something that we have to take step by step. And until when they get to trust us before they start giving us referrals. And most of the businesses survive on referrals. They are not actually on what you do by yourself. Opportunities, but if people don't trust you, they are not going to ever refer you to another person because they don't want you to mess them up. They don't want to trade their integrity for somebody they do not trust. If it's not making money, it is a hobby. It's not a business. If it is not making money, it is a hobby. It is not a business. A lot of us have passion. We have things that can generate money, but we are not making money out of them. Then you are just doing a hobby. It's not a business. It has to generate money for it to be a business. Don't confuse activity with income. Focus on what brings results, not what keeps you busy. Focus on what brings results, not what keeps you busy. Business is not personal. Clients will ignore you. People will copy you. Don't take it personal. Stay focused and move smart. There is nothing personal about business. It's all about exchange of value. So you need to continue to create that value and focus on it, no matter what the challenge is. You don't rise by doing big things once, but small things consistently every day. That's how business grows. Business does not surge from, even Dangote that we are talking about, we know how he started and continue to build and continue to build and continue to build to where he is. So it's a mistake to expect that within 1 year, a business of 1 million would have moved to like 100 million and all those kind of things. It takes process for it to, if it's going to be deeply rooted, if it's going to stand the test of time, then it has to go through that process. The last slide. The next one. Next slide. So let me just quickly brush through this. My time is up already. These are some of the ways that you can get money. But like I said, because we turn it around. We look for money first before we look for business to do with the money. So that's what we do in Nigeria. We look for money first, then we look for business to do with the money. Meanwhile, the business that we are supposed to do, and the business is just basically the idea on how to provide solution to people, give value to people. That is what will now start giving you an idea of which path you can follow to be able to get money to finance it. It doesn't, these are just some of the ways. It doesn't work like this for everybody. It doesn't work. In fact, some kind of business ideas you have will determine the kind of source that you will get money to do it from. There are some kind of business ideas that you cannot use some of these types of sources of finance for. So you need to take note of that as well. So personal, savings and investment. Savings and investment. If you're going to do business and you are going to succeed, your money must be inside that business. Your money must be inside that business. So whatever it is that you are doing before you are going into that business, you must have disciplined yourself to some extent to be able to save some money that you are going to put into that business. You cannot start a business with entirely somebody else's money, wherever it's coming from. That personal attachment, commitment is not going to be there. Sale of assets. Some people sell some of the things they have around that is not useful to be able to go into business, but we have to be careful doing that as well. Then, helping someone else with their business is a very good way, especially the Igbo people do it in Nigeria a lot. The intention of the people that are serving with other people is to start their own business, but they go to serve so that they can now be started up on their own business. And a lot of times, in the process of serving, they've acquired all the required knowledge to be able to succeed in that business. And if you look at it, it's one of the best ways that people have been starting business in this country, because most of the time, those who serve under people get to grow their business even better than the people that they serve. It's been consistently happening. And there is an example of it in the Bible as well. So it's a way of starting a business. Look for someone who is doing what you feel you can even do better than that person. Go and serve with the person. Grants, like from family, from government, there is a common term now, crowdfunding, where you put your business idea up and people send money from far and near. People actually get money for business from that. You can get loans from banks, government. There is line of credit. Line of credit is when, for example, you want to start distributing water. Maybe you want to collect water from mommy and you want to be distributing in a particular place that you have identified that there are no table waters there. You can tell mommy, please, we are members of the same church and I know you trust me. Give me 500,000 worth of water. I will make sure that I sell the water this week and return the money. And please return the money so that it can only continue to get better. There are people that have started very big business in that manner just by taking line of credit from the manufacturer of what they are distributing. Invoice financing. Syndicate financing is very, very important. It's something that we are trying to talk about in Men of Honor, how we can come together. Is a group financing, when people come together to be able to finance a business that one person may not have the capacity on his or her own to finance. Venture capital is a situation where somebody else comes with money, because you have the idea and you have the capacity to run the business. The person comes with money to put into your business and you start together. Pre-sales. Pre-sales is the type where you already have the idea or you have what you want to do. You are now telling people, pay first, and it happens a lot. Most of these people that are into estate, that's what they do. They collect your money, then they give you the building afterwards. It's a way of financing business. Angel investor, and we have business incubator. Business incubator are people that they help you in some of the processes that are involved in your business. So you want to do distributorship, you need a vehicle. The person has a vehicle. He will say, okay, I will give you my vehicle to use for this time. They are business incubators. So I will just share a couple of resources that we can consult to be able to get more information. And that's the last slide. The last slide, please. All right, so we can take them down. That is all from me. Thank you.